Did you know that more people speak English than Mandarin Chinese? Surprising, right? While Mandarin boasts 1.3 billion native speakers, English takes the lead with a staggering 1.45 billion total speakers worldwide. But here's the twist. Only 373 million of those are native English speakers. So what's driving this global language phenomenon? This unexpected revelation highlights the complex world of language classification. The distinction between native speakers and total speakers paints a fascinating picture of how languages spread and evolve. But there's more to this linguistic puzzle than just numbers. In this video, we'll explore how culture, power, and migration have shaped the dominance of languages across the globe. Understanding these language dynamics isn't just about satisfying curiosity. It's crucial for navigating our interconnected world. From historical influences to modern-day shifts, we'll uncover the hidden stories behind the world's most spoken languages. As we explore these hidden stories, we uncover a linguistic paradox. How can a language with fewer native speakers become the most widely spoken in the world? The answer lies in a complex web of historical power dynamics and modern cultural influence. When we look at the numbers, Spanish takes second place with about 485 million native speakers, followed by English with approximately 373 million. But here's where things get interesting. When we consider total speakers, English surpasses Mandarin, boasting around 1.45 billion total speakers compared to Mandarin's 1.3 billion. This shift in rankings when we move from native to total speakers reveals a fascinating aspect of global language dynamics. It's not just about who speaks a language from birth, but also about who adopts it later in life. This distinction between native and total speakers offers us a window into the intricate world of global power dynamics and cultural exchange. So, what factors have contributed to English's remarkable global spread? One major influence is historical colonialism. The British Empire's vast reach established English as the language of administration and education in many territories around the world. This colonial legacy laid the groundwork for English's continued dominance long after the empire's decline. But history isn't the only factor at play. In our modern world, media and cultural influence, particularly from the United States, have significantly boosted English's status as a global language. From Hollywood movies to pop music, from international business to the internet, English has become the de facto lingua franca of our interconnected world. This prevalence of English as a second language has reshaped the global linguistic landscape. It's created a situation where more people speak English as an additional language than as their mother tongue. This phenomenon reflects the complex interplay of historical forces, economic power, and cultural influence that shapes our world. However, it's important to note that counting speakers isn't an exact science. Challenges arise from varying definitions of what constitutes a native or second language speaker. Political and cultural influences on language use can also muddy the waters. For instance, in some multilingual societies, people might claim proficiency in a prestigious language, even if their actual usage is limited. Understanding these nuances in language statistics helps us grasp the true complexity of global communication. It's not just about raw numbers, but about how languages spread, adapt, and influence each other in our increasingly connected world. As we navigate the intricate landscape of global languages, we encounter a puzzling question. When is a language not really a language? This seemingly simple query opens up a fascinating debate that could dramatically alter our understanding of the world's linguistic map. Imagine if half the languages we know aren't actually considered separate languages by linguists. How would that change our perception of global communication? The classification of languages is far more complex than it might initially appear. Take Mandarin Chinese, for instance. While often referred to as a single language, it actually encompasses a diverse range of dialects, some of which are mutually unintelligible. Similarly, Arabic, traditionally viewed as one language, consists of various dialects that speakers from different regions may struggle to understand. This brings us to the concept of mutual intelligibility, a crucial factor in defining languages versus dialects. Linguists use this criterion to determine whether two speech varieties are distinct languages or dialects of the same language. If speakers of two varieties can understand each other without prior exposure or learning, they're likely speaking dialects of the same language. However, the waters get murkier when we consider political and cultural influences on language classification. A prime example is the case of Hindi and Urdu. Despite their colloquial registers being nearly completely mutually intelligible, they're often classified as separate languages due to cultural and political factors. This classification reflects the complex interplay between linguistic reality and socio-political identity. The phenomenon of diglossia further complicates our understanding of language boundaries. In the case of Arabic, a standardized form is used in formal contexts, while dialects vary widely in everyday use. This creates a situation where speakers may use what linguists consider different languages in different aspects of their lives, all under the umbrella of Arabic. The challenges in language classification extend to quantifying speakers as well. As noted in our research, there is no single criterion for how much knowledge is sufficient to be counted as a second language speaker. This lack of standardized criteria makes it difficult to accurately assess the number of speakers for each language, especially in multilingual societies. The debate over what constitutes a language versus a dialect has far-reaching implications. It can alter our understanding of global communication, as many languages traditionally considered distinct may actually represent variations of the same linguistic system. This realization could potentially reduce the number of languages in the world, but increase our appreciation for the rich diversity within each linguistic family. Understanding these nuances in language classification provides us with a more nuanced view of global linguistic diversity. It challenges our preconceptions about language boundaries and highlights the fluid nature of human communication. By recognizing the complex factors that shape language classification, we gain a deeper appreciation for the intricate tapestry of global languages. Beyond the nuances of language classification lies an even more fascinating tale. Imagine if the reason you speak your native tongue wasn't just a matter of where you were born, but a result of complex historical events spanning continents and centuries. We're about to uncover the surprising ways that power, culture, and human movement have sculpted the languages we speak today. The global spread of languages is a testament to the far-reaching impact of historical events. Take Spanish and Portuguese, for instance. These languages have become dominant across vast regions of the world, not merely due to natural linguistic evolution, but as a direct result of colonialism. Spanish, now the official language in 20 countries across the Americas, owes its widespread presence to Spain's colonial past. Similarly, Portuguese boasts approximately 232 million native speakers globally, a legacy of Portuguese traders and conquerors who left their linguistic mark in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. But it's not just colonialism that shapes our linguistic landscape. Migration, often driven by political upheavals, can dramatically alter the distribution of languages. The Bengali language provides a compelling example of this phenomenon. Following the partition of Bengal in 1947, a significant redistribution of Bengali speakers occurred. Today, around 234 million people speak Bengali, primarily in India and Bangladesh, reflecting both cultural and demographic shifts that resulted from this historical event. The rise of lingua francas, languages that serve as a common means of communication, between speakers of different native tongues further illustrates how historical events shape language dominance. English, once the language of the British Empire, has now become a global lingua franca, used in international business, diplomacy, and popular culture. Russian, on the other hand, while not achieving the same global reach as English, maintains a strong regional influence in former Soviet states. The case of Russian in the post-Soviet landscape is particularly intriguing. Its continued significance in Eastern Europe and Central Asia is a result of complex historical, cultural, and geopolitical factors. As our research notes, the widespread use of this language is due to its historical, cultural, and geopolitical importance. This observation underscores how languages can reflect and perpetuate power dynamics within their regions of influence. Understanding these historical influences provides valuable insight into current geopolitical and cultural dynamics. The languages we speak today are not just tools for communication, but living artifacts of our collective history. They carry within them the stories of conquests, migrations, and cultural exchanges that have shaped our world. As we've seen, the dominance of languages is shaped by a complex interplay of historical, cultural, and political factors. The future of global languages is likely to be influenced by our increasingly interconnected world. While English currently enjoys a position of dominance, languages like Mandarin Chinese remain significant due to their large native speaker populations. The rise of dominant languages raises questions about the preservation of minority languages and cultural identities. As one expert notes, the politics of language and associated identity are highly disputed. This reminds us that language is not just a means of communication, but also a reflection of cultural heritage. As we navigate this evolving linguistic landscape, we must consider: how will language diversity evolve? And what will be the fate of less widely spoken languages? By exploring and appreciating linguistic diversity in our own communities, we can contribute to the preservation of our rich global language heritage.